Journalism is, at its core, a human promise, a commitment to chase truth wherever it hides, to hold the powerful to account, and to serve the public even when the work is thankless, dangerous, or deeply unglamorous. History is shaped by those who lived that promise. Figures like Ida B. Wells, who risked her life documenting the horrors others refused to name. Carl Bernstein, whose relentless shoe leather reporting helped expose a presidency built on lies. Martha Gellhorn, who covered wars not for glory, but to bear witness. And I. F. Stone, who proved you can challenge empires armed with nothing but documents, diligence, and moral clarity. These journalists chose integrity over influence, accountability over access, and public service over personal gain. Their legacy defines what the word journalist is supposed to mean, their work finely woven into the fabric of modern-day information gathering and reporting. Fearless, unrelenting truth-seeking, even in the face of oppressive government corruption. But we're not talking about any of those people. We're talking about this guy.
Member of the media. I'm a member of the media. I am a dignified member of the media. I am Pope Turtleboy. I am the Pope. I am the Pope. I am a sex goblin, head of the alt-right toxic sex cult.
You're out of school saying you're a sex goblin.
Yes, I am a sex goblin.
There are internet personalities, and then there are internet ecosystems, strange biomes of drama, conspiracy, and unearned bravado. But few figures embody that chaos more completely than Aidan Kearney, better known as Turtleboy. Ask Aidan who he is, and he'll tell you he's a crusading journalist, a sex symbol and great mind, destined for fame and fortune.
I'm kind of like the white Martin Luther King a little bit. Except that the FBI is not trying to kill me, the state police are.
Ask the courts, and they'll tell you he's a blogger with a credibility problem and no impulse control.
And then the issue is always how far does the First Amendment take you, and when does it become intimidation of a witness? The word revenge, some of those other words that are on that tape are getting very, very close.
Ask the women he's been with, and they'll tell you he's a philandering megalomaniac who will bully anyone into silence, no matter the damage it causes.
Up until like that thing on the watch the boob photos, it didn't even cross my mind that he would ever even think about another girl. Like I thought all the trolls who were like, oh, he's a serial cheater, he's definitely like sending jerk off videos to people. I thought that they were just like, oh, they're just saying this because they hate Aiden so much.
Ask the people he's targeted, and they'll tell you he's an online arsonist who keeps insisting the fires he started are evidence of his own persecution. This is the story of how a former history teacher reinvented himself as a self-styled anti-corruption warrior, and how the character he created eventually burned his whole life to the ground. Aidan Kearney grew up in Worcester, Massachusetts, graduating from South High Community School in 2000. He went on to attend the University of Massachusetts Amherst, an admittedly marginal student.
I'm not a good student. C's and D's get degrees, that was my saying.
He apparently excelled at breaking into dorm rooms, selling erectile dysfunction medication to students, and just generally being a douchebag. In 2006, he returned to Central Massachusetts and began teaching history at Shepherd Hill Regional High School. For nearly a decade, he held a classroom and coached track, presenting himself as a strict, no-nonsense educator. But according to students and community anecdotes, Kearney's reputation in the classroom was far from universally admired. He was the recipient of multiple formal complaints from students, parents, and faculty. The tension between his personal style and his role as an authority figure would foreshadow bigger conflicts. Outside the classroom, Carney cultivated another life. Under the alias Aiden from Worcester, he called into radio shows and launched a personal blog, aidenfromworcester.com, where he expressed what the principal of his school once described as innumerable personal comments, the majority of which do not concern public policy matters. By 2013, the blog finally drew the attention of school administrators after he doxed a woman for the high crime of protesting the Boston Marathon bomber being buried in Worcester. She complained to the school, a meeting was called, and Carney agreed to take the post down. The complaint prompted administrators to review his blog more closely, where they found a catalog of objectionable posts, including a post where he expressed his opinion that a woman's outfit invited sexual assault. Another arguing that some people deserve to be bullied. A reply indicating his enthusiastic approval of a racist meme. And a post where he recounted pulling his car over while on the way to a track meet on school time to photograph a drunk man lying on the side of the road before leaving without rendering aid or alerting authorities, so that he could later ridicule the man and compare him to a child with Down syndrome. This resulted in a 5-day unpaid suspension, later reduced to 3. This moment, for most people, would be a turning point. A choice between continuing to toxically shitpost online or continuing a career in teaching. Aiden, however, chose to instead just try to live one of many of his double lives, with disastrous consequences. After his 3-day unpaid suspension, Aiden managed to rein in the behavior that nearly detonated his career for about a week. Then he popped back up online, this time hiding behind what he thought was an untraceable pseudonym, Turtleboy, a reference to a Worcester statue that looks like a boy having sex with a turtle. Under that name, he launched a new website, turtleboysports.com, churning out sports-themed blog posts that went largely unnoticed and gained no meaningful traction. Rather than let the year's string of failures slow him down, Aiden retreated to the only tactic that had ever gotten him attention, violating his own school's anti-bullying policy daily on his blog. This time, he felt emboldened and protected by what he believed was Turtleboy's anonymity. But in 2014, his obsession with pro sports and his habit of harassing strangers for blog content finally collided and exposed just how not anonymous he really was. At a Bills versus Patriots game in October 2014, a teenage girl was allegedly harassed by Aidan Kearney.
At a Buffalo Bills game, I was making jerk-off motions in front of 60,000 people, and, that was the sexual harassment he's talking about, that I was doing, jerk-off motions.
What began as seemingly harmless drunken antics quickly escalated into sexualized gestures, taunts, and repeated photos and videos taken of her without her consent. Warnings from her brother, other fans, and even a security guard went ignored. Aiden allegedly continued harassing her to the point of tears, despite being briefly removed from the stands by security staff. After the game, he mocked and misrepresented her in a blog post, painting her as the aggressor and posting a photo of her crying, dubbing her the saddest Bills fan in the world. The experience left her humiliated and outraged, and as it turned out, the internet was outraged as well. Aiden's blog post shaming the teenage girl he harassed at the Bills-Patriots game outraged sports fans within the blogosphere, who were furious that an adult man hiding behind the Turtleboy persona would mock a crying minor for sport. Leading the backlash was the Buffalo blogger behind the now-defunct blog Buffalo Bruises, James Krieger. Krieger could be described as essentially the Turtleboy of Buffalo, and he made it his mission to uncover who was behind Turtleboy Sports. Within days, Krieger connected the dots and publicly identified Turtleboy as Aidan Kearney, and only then did the public learn the most shocking part. The man who had spent the day harassing a teenage girl and ridiculing her online was, in fact, a high school teacher. The revelation detonated the story and turned a small-time blog feud into a full-blown scandal.
Shred and Reagan, weekday mornings on the mighty 97 Raw.
So these couple of douchebags from New England decided they were going to come here for the Patriots and they were going to watch the game. But then it seemed like throughout the afternoon they poked the stick at the bear, making noise, doing suck-it moves, that sort of thing. And then they would, rile up the hometown crowd and then turn their phones on and shocked, be absolutely shocked that Bills fans reacted with slurs and cursing and flipping them off. Hey, you Bills fans, you suck. Oh, yeah? And then they turn on their phone, and then you hear, hey, screw you, Pats fans.
And they're like, classless.
And they're like, we can't believe this. This has just got to stop.
The most vile creatures at any NFL stadium.
So they posted a bunch of that. So we wanted to bring the guy on to find out what the hell happened and how bad it was. Well, first he's like, oh, I can't come on. I can't do it. Oh, I got stuff. My mom won't let me on. Whatever the hell. So he wouldn't come on the air. He tries to be, although we have his name, he tries to hide behind Turtleboy.
Which is appropriate.
Yeah,
terrible name.
Yeah, I know.
Well, because he hides in his shell.
I don't know.
Hi, so my sister and friend are those fans in Turtleboy's video.
The Bills fans?
Yeah, so I have season tickets with the gentleman in the video. I got to sit in the Jim Kelly Club. I gave my sister my ticket. She said that guy was absolutely terrible the entire game.
He was asking for it.
He instigated the entire section. He paid more attention to the Bills fans than to the entire game. Right. And, I guess he was making some lewd gestures, lewd comments, to the point where everyone got fed up and they went to get security and they didn't do anything about this guy.
He came in. This is the thing. We're supposed to read this and feel horrible about ourselves as fans. What really happened was he was a jackass through the entire afternoon and evening, and then posted videos, shock that people were telling him to shut up. I guess he was doing some sort of suck it type thing.
No, he was humping stuff.
Oh, he was humping stuff.
He referenced that in his blog.
Right, and so then they ran to get him kicked out. And he was also shocked at that, too. Like, I can't believe it. It's just a joke. I should be allowed to hump stuff in front of children, I guess, in the stadium. Idiot. So that backs up what we were thinking. He was asking for it the whole game.
Oh, he definitely was. My sister and friend came out of the game all fired up. Like, you were lucky you weren't sitting in the seat. You would have lost it on this guy. Because he was just rude the entire game.
Right, and like a passive-aggressive little jackass, he would have videotaped the whole thing and probably ran to the cops and went, look, they attacked me. Oh, I was punched by...
It sounds like he went into this game with the plan that he was going to do this story.
This was the whole thing.
And he was looking for material to back it up.
Right.
Rabid Bills fans flooded Shepherd Hill High School with complaints about Carney. His many disgruntled students relished in the teacher they described as an immature, creepy bully being destroyed online. Within days of the scandal erupting, the school administration, which had repeatedly warned Carney that his toxic online behavior could cost him his job, had finally had enough. He was escorted out of Shepherd Hill High School by Dudley police and never returned. With a wife and his first child on the way, this was the worst possible moment for a completely avoidable catastrophe. Stripped of his career, left with no real source of income, and now carrying a reputation as a full-blown scumbag, Aidan Kearney crawled out of the ashes of the dumpster fire he himself set ablaze, and committed himself entirely to becoming Turtleboy. Aiden has given many different excuses for his departure from teaching. In 2015, he told Clive McFarlane of the Worcester Telegram and Gazette that he had grown disillusioned with teaching and wanted to avoid a new policy requiring teachers be fingerprinted. Later on, he would claim that he was pushed out due to what he described as lies, written by blogger James Krieger, despite multiple corroborating witnesses to his behavior at the game that day. He also claimed that he had been persecuted by the school's principal, Mary Pierangeli.
Until you have a blog written about you that makes up a lie about you sexually assaulting a girl at a friggin' Bills game, and you get put through that fucking public humiliation, and you get taken out of school by the Dudley police, right? And you're investigated by a vindictive principal, and, the fucking news is barking up your ass for shit. Until you've been through that, you don't get to have an opinion on that. You can say whatever you want, but I'm gonna lash out at fucking you next, because that's gonna piss me off.
James Krieger, for his part, was sued for libel in October 2015 by a Buffalo nonprofit in a matter entirely unrelated to Carney. Krieger ultimately lost the lawsuit, and Buffalo Bruises was shuttered as a result. Carney often cites this episode vaguely to insinuate that the blogs written about him were false, but there is no evidence to support that claim. Carney himself never filed a defamation lawsuit over any of the allegations made against him. As his story continues to evolve, the one constant is what Aiden refuses to acknowledge: his own culpability in his termination. He, and he alone, repeatedly violated the school's anti-bullying policy, despite multiple warnings. It was his lewd and intimidating behavior toward a young woman, witnessed by numerous onlookers, including fellow Patriots fans, that set off the chain of events culminating in his removal from campus by police. And it was his conduct after losing his teaching job that cemented his status as a pariah in the city of Worcester. 6 months after losing his teaching job, Aidan Kearney had become such a persistent menace in Worcester that residents were now openly complaining about him at public city meetings. At a community forum on race and social media, Turtleboy sports dominated the discussion, particularly among residents who said their personal lives had been targeted and smeared on the blog.
This Turtleboy blog he has been doing this to people well long before I started these dialogues, and the things that he has said about me as a mother and a grandmother is unacceptable.
After the meeting, Kearney appeared in the parking lot claiming he wanted to clear his name. Despite being widely identified as the creator of Turtleboy, he denied responsibility, insisting he only sold advertising for the site and that unnamed friends actually ran it. Inside the meeting, an unsanctioned flyer had already named him as Turtleboy, accusing the blog of perpetuating racism, fear, and harassment in the city. As word spread, people Carney had written about confronted him directly, some yelling Turtleboy across the lot, others demanding to know why he didn't come inside and answer questions publicly. When challenged, Carney said he avoided the meeting because he received death threats over the blog. Moments later, overwhelmed and outnumbered, he retreated to his car, leaving little doubt in the crowd about who Turtleboy really was. Around the same time, Carney struck up a partnership with local city councilor and attorney Michael Gaffney. Gaffney paid for advertising on the Turtleboy sports blog and provided Carney with insider political tips in Worcester, helping him grow his platform. In return, Carney eagerly dug into and eviscerated Gaffney's political opponents on his blog and promoted any other advantageous connections Gaffney helped him cultivate.
Hello, Councilor Gaffney. My name is Robert Huddick. My phone number is 508. Calling to say, fuck your discrimination and your racist ideas. I strongly oppose and denounce your current resolution. Thank you.
This relationship didn't end well, but we'll get to that later. By 2016, it appeared that consequences had once again caught up to Carney when a business owner sued him over attacks he launched against her business because of her college-age son's political protesting. The case was voluntarily dismissed by the plaintiff before it could be litigated, allowing Carney to once again avoid accountability. He pressed on, recruiting a small stable of bloggers to write under his banner, including a particularly talented woman who wrote under the name South Shore Turtle Girl. Despite that minor courtroom speed bump, Aiden entered 2017 on strong footing with a small but dedicated group of talented bloggers, steady advertisers, a partnership with a prominent local politician, and a growing social media presence. But along with his social media growing, his list of enemies was growing as well, and his good fortune would prove to be short-lived.
Just remember what you're posting, because eventually all those people that fucking hate you will gather up against you. So just remember, everything you post is very, very fucking personal. So keep that in mind. Ain't no motherfucker gonna help you if they have enough people to come after you, so.
Bitch, before you want to come at somebody who's struggling, you better check yourself. Everybody struggles in life. It's about who gets through it. We go through the worst to get what we need. Until you know what I've really gone through and you know the facts, then you can speak up. Till then, shut the fuck up and suck my fucking dick, bitch.
Fuck Turtleboy.
By October 2017, life appeared to be going well for Aidan Kearney. He commanded a tight-knit network of prolific bloggers, loyal advertisers, and a Facebook page that ballooned to 100,000 followers, literally, overnight. His relationship with local politician and attorney Michael Gaffney was financially lucrative, providing a steady stream of insider tips on city business and local politics. He accrued a core group of followers who were intensely invested and fiercely loyal, at times bordering on cult-like. He won a Worcester magazine online poll for Best Local Blog by mobilizing this audience to vote repeatedly using burner accounts, while simultaneously spamming his blog links across social media to drive traffic. During this period of unprecedented growth, Aiden was raking in advertising revenue from his blog while clinging to the illusion of anonymity, avoiding accountability while still benefiting financially, and wielding his online influence from the shadows, all while enjoying its trappings. He was so fearful of being publicly attached to his own work that he sent a friend to identify himself as Turtleboy and accept the Worcester Magazine Award. But only a month after gaining nearly 70,000 followers overnight, the walls came crumbling down.
On November 28th, 2017, that happens to be the day we lost our Facebook page. How about that?
Coincidence.
All right. Yes. Weird. And I remember that day's not traumatic or anything like that.
No, it's not emblazoned on your mind or anything like that, is it?
Yeah.
In November 2017, Facebook removed Kearney's page after repeated community guideline violations. As with his teaching career, he proved incapable of adhering to basic rules governing harassment and bullying, even when continued access to the platform depended on it. At the same time, Kearney's relationship with Michael Gaffney had severely deteriorated. Shortly before the 2017 election, Gaffney informed Kearney that he intended to withdraw from the race and relocate out of state, citing exhaustion with Worcester politics and a career opportunity for his wife. The decision infuriated Carney, who had come to rely on Gaffney for revenue, insider information, and access to other local politicians aligned with Gaffney, several of whom, at Gaffney's recommendation, had used Kearney's blog as a vehicle to inflict reputational harm on their political opponents, at a cost. Kearney issued an ultimatum to Gaffney: either remain in Worcester and the race, and aligned with the blog, or he would turn it against Gaffney and destroy him. Gaffney did not capitulate to Aiden's demands, and Aiden went to work attacking his reputation in any way that he could.
And so he's like, I'm moving to Florida for greater opportunities. Okay. Yeah. And before the election, I write a blog saying, I don't endorse this guy anymore. Get me off this ride. I'm done with Gaffney. I no longer support it. He's a weirdo. He's not the same guy. Done with him.
By December 2017, Gaffney had filed a civil lawsuit against Aidan Kearney, Turtleboy Sports, and the shell corporation that Aiden had created to maintain the lie that he only sold advertisements for the blog. Gaffney's complaint included claims of libel and fraud, asserting that statements published on the blog about him were false, defamatory, and harmful to his reputation, and that Turtleboy had made inflated promises about its audience that misled him as an advertiser. He also later added claims of intentional and negligent infliction of emotional distress tied to the alleged defamatory content. And, unlike the 2016 lawsuit, Aiden was going to be forced to fight this one out. Michael Gaffney was not the only one to walk away. Shortly after the lawsuit was filed, every blogger working under Aidan Kearney left the operation, including his most prolific contributor and de facto second-in-command, South Shore Turtle Girl. In a detailed email written as a final severance, South Shore Turtle Girl stated that she was permanently leaving Turtleboy due solely to Aiden's conduct. In a detailed email written as a final severance, South Shore Turtle Girl stated that she was permanently leaving Turtleboy due solely to Aiden's conduct. She described an environment governed by fear, where staff believed disagreement would result in public humiliation or targeting. The email referenced an alleged affair the married Carney was having with one of his bloggers, another destabilizing factor that blurred professional boundaries and contributed to erratic judgment. South Shore Turtle Girl further asserted that she had remained involved longer than she felt safe, acting as an unpaid intermediary to shield others, while morale collapsed and contributors quietly disengaged. She warned that Facebook had already classified Turtleboy as a repeat abuser, that the page removals and mass account takedowns were deliberate enforcement actions, and that any proposed lawsuit was legally untenable, exacerbated by Kearney's refusal to de-escalate or follow counsel. She concluded that Aiden had routinely distorted advice to fit his narrative, treated people as disposable once they ceased to serve his interests, and was solely responsible for the collapse of his own operation. By the beginning of 2018, Aidan Kearney was effectively broken, though he refused to acknowledge it. His social media presence had been dismantled, his inner circle had vanished after repeated mistreatment, and a major legal fight loomed. At the same time, the fallout from an alleged affair threatened his marriage and primary source of financial stability. The year ahead was already bleak, yet he pressed on, unwilling to relinquish the Turtleboy persona, unaware that his refusal to let go would only accelerate what was to follow. If you like what we are doing and want to show us a little support, you can't buy us a couch. But you can go to www.buymeacoffee.com/massholemedia and buy us a coffee. It really helps with the long nights spent on researching, editing, and producing these videos.